In prelude to the 50th edition of the National Unity Day, a Mass of the Nation took place on Sunday, May 15 at the Mary Queen of the Apostles Basilica Mvoli. This to pray for peace and social cohesion in the country. The Mass, presided over by His Grace Jean Barga, was attended by over 7 cabinet ministers, the mayor of the Yaoundé City Council, state personalities, hundreds of Christians and lovers of peace. Diversity is a necessity for peace. These are the words of His Lordship Jean Barga on this occasion.
Diversity is a necessity for the unity. That means that, in this sense, the danger we have to avoid is the divorce. We don't accept that what can be united could be separated. That is why I say it's better for us to continue to build this long way we initiated with our ancestors in the nation. It's possible that Cameroonians live together. I say the Cameroon is the Cameroonian and the Cameroon are Cameroon. It's a link very straight that you cannot separate anything.
And according to the agenda of the 50th edition of the National Unity Day, President Paul Biya will be at the boulevard in Yaoundé. The President of the Republic and wife, Mrs. Chantal Biya, left Cameroon on Saturday, May 14, for a short private stay in Europe. Still talking about this day, 7 political parties in Douala have been authorized to take part in the 2022 20th May parade. This was during a preparatory meeting ahead of the D-Day, presided over by the head of the subcommittee for political party parades, Benjamin Mbutu, who doubles as the senior divisional officer of Wuri. The 7 political parties, namely CPDM, PURS, CPNRU, NDP, ANDP, will, in a 15-minute parade, show their support for national unity, living together, and for President Paul Biya. The PCC moderator, Reverend Father Funky Samuel, has joined His Grace Andrew Kea in an appeal to release Senator Regina Mundi without delay and payment of any ransom by whomever. According to the PCC moderator, no matter the reasons and arguments for kidnapping, it is a total violation of human rights and criminal offense as stipulated by the national and international laws. On to something else, waste disposals and management in some towns in Cameroon, like Douala, has taken an ugly shape as Isakam workers have continued to protest silently. Eileen Sama took it all. Her report.
The issue of waste disposal and waste management in Douala, Cameroon's economic capital, must be resolved as soon as possible before things get worse in the midst of the cholera outbreak in the country. For city dwellers having business places or residing around the various dump sites in the city, life has now become unbearable. It is exactly 2 weeks that Isaka no longer passes around to carry waste here like they usually do before. And for us, we are so uncomfortable here, and with the cholera outbreak, we are indeed scared about our health. And what is most annoying is the fact that when the tax collectors come, if you haven't yet paid, they will throw you out. And we ask ourselves, what is the need of paying taxes when your health is not secured? Look at flies everywhere. One can't even eat here in peace. According to these other city dwellers, cholera is the biggest threat now, especially with kids around. For the past 2 months, Isakam was doing its job very well. But for over 2 weeks now, they no longer come around to collect garbage here. And really, we do not know what to do because there are so many kids around and you know, cholera is out there. So we plead with Isakam to come do their job. However, some workers of the country's #1 private waste management company, Isakam, who were spotted later cleaning some dump sites in the city, explained off camera for fear of losing their jobs that they are not being paid accordingly. And this is the major reason why they have abandoned their work. They now plead with the government to intervene and salvage this salary problem at the ZACAM for a return to hygiene and sanitation in the city.
Cameroon has joined the rest of the world to commemorate the 29th edition of the International Day of the Family. The day, celebrated every 15th of May, was instituted by the United Nations to promote awareness of issues related to the family. Mwanze Njoyogo.
The family is regarded as the basic and essential building blocks of societies, as family play a crucial role in social development. They bear the primary responsibility for the education and socialization of children, as well as instilling values of citizenship and belonging to the society. In this regard, May 15 was set aside by the United Nations to celebrate the family. The theme for this year's edition is Families and Urbanization. In this light, Cameroon's Minister of Women's Empowerment and the Family, Professor Marie-Thérèse Abena Ondua, says this theme should remind families of the necessity to adapt to new technologies.
This theme reminds us of the necessity for families to adapt to new technologies in order to preserve the said families and thus build an emergent Cameroon.
She also reiterated that ICT should act as a preservation and protection tool to the family and not a destabilizing factor.
On this 28th edition of the International Day of Families is a good opportunity to raise collective awareness once again on the fact that ICT should serve for the preservation, the protection, and well-being of the family, and not as a destabilizing factor. I therefore urge you to develop for yourself and for your children the sense of responsibility and to exercise good judgments when using ICTs in order for them to become model citizens.
The commemoration of these days is of great importance, as families do play a key role in the physical, mental and emotional development of people.
The Digital Frontier Institute has sensitized the population on the use of digital currency. This was during a press conference organized over the weekend. Cynthia Azanu tells us more.
This press conference, which took place at Astafe, Terminus, littoral region of the country, saw the presence of former students and students of digital finance professionals in the realization of their projects for 2021 and what will become of their projects in the year 2022. The Digital Frontier Institute have decided to legalize the usage of cryptocurrencies and spread awareness on this new area of expertise.
The purpose of the Association of the Professional of Digital Finance is actually to spread and actually create awareness around the topics of digital finance and all its various aspects, and also to create and strengthen a community of professionals on this new area of expertise that is really in lack in our country.
However, this institution is aimed at training students of the Central African Republic in digital finance.
The Association of Professional of Digital Finance for Central Africa. I'm also the COP, that is Community of Practices of the Association of the students across Central Africa who have chosen to be trained on digital finance, and by the institution called Digital Frontiers Institute, where students from Central Africa, that means DRC, Gabon, Congo, Cameroon, Central Africa, and the others are trained on digital finance. You know that the world is changing. There have been a lot of improvement in terms of technology, And that technology changing have brought a lot of change in the way that things are being done.
It should be noted that the cryptocurrency is any form of currency that exists digitally and virtually and uses cryptography to secure transactions.
On our health page, we are focusing on asthma, a long-term lung disease that affects persons of different age groups. Our health reporter, Bokengo Huwadi, highlights.
Varying from person to person due to its severity, asthma can interfere with one's daily activities.
Condition which causes narrowing, swelling and inflammation of your lungs and causing excess production of mucus. All right, so asthma can vary from person to person. It can vary from mild to moderate and even to severe.
Though the exact cause for the disease is likened to contact with allergens, viral infection, as well as weakened immune system in babies, some triggers to watch out for include
predisposing factors of having asthma include inhaling allergens such as dust, pollen, having a common cold, an upper respiratory tract infection, being overweight, being a smoker, having a blood relative who has asthma.
Worth mentioning is the fact that the health condition can be worse for pregnant women and even cause death over time.
Complications of asthma in pregnancy can include low birth weight of the baby due to inadequate supply of oxygen. It can cause premature delivery, and it can also predispose the fetus to having asthma when he's born. It can cause permanent narrowing of your tubes, so making respiration difficult, and it can even cause death. Like the severity of asthma can cause death if not well managed.
Nonetheless, vaccination for pneumonia and influenza, medication, avoiding any kind of smoke, identifying, avoid and managing triggers, keeping warm, paying attention to recurring symptoms such as wheezing, difficulty in breathing, persistent cough, as well as choosing healthy lifestyle choices during pregnancy are some ways to help reduce the estimated 300 million asthmatic cases worldwide.
And out of the country, Mali has officially pulled out from regional G5 Sahel force. The military junta made the announcement Sunday evening, May 15, blaming a lack of progress in the fight against the Islamists and the failure to hold recent meetings in Mali. The G5 Sahel force, which includes troops from Niger, Chad, Burkina Faso and Mauritania, was set up in 2017 to counter jihadists who have swept across the region in recent years, killing thousands of people and forcing millions to flee from their homes. But the multinational military force in West Africa's Sahel region has had no major ameliorations to put an end to the Islamist insurgency. A young Kenyan lady identified as Mani Muthoni is said to have taken her own life after sharing a heartbreaking post on her Facebook account May 13. Sources say the deceased took her own life because her boyfriend cheated on her and verbally abused her when she confronted him. That was it for today's edition of Prime Flash, produced by Junior Pelama. Thanks for watching, faithful viewers. You have more details of these stories and many more on our 3:30 or our 6:30 p.m. Prime News with Fon Quinta. Coming up next is the brief with Lasha Kingsley and Gwladys Bomotonguina. Have a nice time.